If you see the money, that's yeet. You see the money, that's yeet. I ain't never want to roll.
Yo, we are back in After Effects, and in today's video I'll be re-editing this YEAT video that just came out. It came out like 2 days ago and it's totally dope already, but I want to go through it and re-edit it on my own style and add some VFX in there. So this is gonna be a fun one, so let's get started. So in my timeline you can see I have this music video pulled up. I just downloaded it off of YouTube, of course. Firstly, to start off, what we're gonna do is scene edit detection. So for that I'll be right clicking on my footage and go over to where it says scene edit detection and hit that, and right where it says split layer at scene edit, just hit that and hit OK. What it will do is just add those cuts where the cuts add. So now you can see the cuts are like properly added where the scene changes. So that's exactly what we want to start off. Now we can start adding VFX from the start. So right here, if you pay like closer attention to the lyrics, what he's saying is like, if you see the money, that's yeet. So I'll be writing down the lyrics in here. So I'll be writing down the last lyrics where it says that's yeet right there. So I'm gonna make a text right here and write that's yeet, yes sir, and just scale this up, and I'm gonna change the font to something like Death Note and just like space it up maybe. And you can also set the color to white right there, and we'll be scaling it up, make it in the center by in the align right there. Now you can see we have this simple like text going on, but we gonna spice this up, of course. What I like to do as the text comes in is add slow-mo on my background clip. So for that I'll just like pre-comp it, and using my Essential FX V1 and V2 bundle, I'm just gonna add a preset from here which is called the fast to slow-mo. I really love this because it has this like fast to slow-mo type of effect that looks really hard. And now you can see after adding that one preset, we can see we already have the slow-mo going on. So that's why I love this like pack, because it got a lot of drag and drop effects like this. If you want to check it out, I'll link the bundle down below. It comes with 80 plus presets on the bundle, so V1 and V2 you'll get that together, which is really dope. But moving on to our effect, I also like to add a effect on here like an animation or text animation in our text. So for that I like to use something like text animation 3. Nah, that's too funky. Let's just use something like text animation 2. Yeah, that's like a fade effect, which I really love, and we can just align these keyframes. Yeah, something like that. That's it. Yes sir. Now what we can do is add a adjustment layer into our background layer, and as it goes we can lower down the saturation of the adjustment layer so it looks something like there. And also you can add something like a deep glow in your like text layer, bring it up more, and also add like something like a drop shadow to add some shadow in there. So drop shadow and bring up the shadows and bring of the opacity so it like pops out a little bit more. You can even add like a tint on the text, so to standard, and I'm gonna set it to overlay and just use something like a yellowish tone right here. And you know what I'm gonna do now is add like a zoom out, and I have like a fire idea right here. If I like zoom out of the scene and use something like an optic distortion with it, it will look insanely hard. So for that I added a new adjustment layer, and I'm gonna use blur more curves for the, and go over to where it says G dust and hit the stopwatch in there, go a little further, and I'm gonna just like zoom out something like this. Yes sir. You can bring up the like the text size if you like, around like there, maybe 1.600 looks good. And then you can just ease those, and I'm gonna use flow to add a graph like these in here and make sure it picks in the right time. Yeah, that's perfect. Maybe let's just bring it up over here. You can lower down the size of the text more. Now you can see we have the zoom right here, but the black bars are showing. To fix that I like to add another adjustment layer, and in this adjustment layer we're gonna add optic compensation as I said in the beginning, and reverse the lens. And as it goes I'm gonna just bring it up, so something around like here, maybe more. I'm gonna go put this over here and just like bring it up so it like covers the side edges so it doesn't look weird, and put it over here, something right there. Yes sir. And to fix these borders right here we're gonna create a crop animation. So for that I like to make a solid, a black solid obviously, basically, and add like a CC jaws effect, and just bring up the compilation and set it to block and lower down the height, which will create this like black border type of effect, and then you can just animate it. So it goes like this. This is a really genius way to create like your text to like pop out. It has been popular lately, so yeah, something like this. And you can easily use this again, go into graph and make a graph according to it. And if you play that through, you can see it already looks super crazy. But to top it off, I'm gonna add more adjustment layer before all of those like zooms and optics. And firstly, I like to add something like a black and white CC from our pack, the Essential FX V2. And as it comes, I like to add another adjustment layer with flicker end right here. And now we have played through, you can see it looks super dope. Maybe you can put this before, yes sir, something right there. And if you even like, you can add like a curves before this to make your original footage a little darker so the text like pops out. And finally, I like to add a chroma in here, chroma or sapphire chroma, maybe, or chroma in here, and just bring it up a little bit. Yes sir, that intro looks super hard already. Now to top it all off, I like to add a little shake in the beginning. So for that, you can use something like maybe like a semi-conic shake and just line it up. Yes sir. And with that, I guess our first scene is done. Quick and easy, looks insanely hard. Moving on to our second scene, I like to add a little text in here. So I'll like pre-comp this and just start tracking this. So go to tracker and hit camera track, advanced detail analysis. Now after the 3D track is done, I'm gonna just select a track points in the background. So around like here, create a text right there. And now I'm gonna just like write the lyrics in here. So as he's saying, I'm gonna just write it if. Yeah, something right there, as you can see. And now you can start animating it. So I'm gonna just bring up the position in here, and as it goes, just put it out the frame as it comes. I'm gonna just add a flow graph in here like that, and same thing with all of these again. And as it goes out, I'm gonna also animate the opacity so it like fades out, and copy these on all of these again. Yeah, as you can see, now I have played that through, something right there. And now I'm gonna pre-comp all of these, including the camera. And in here, I'm gonna go into the pre-comp and I'm gonna make some letter like a yellowish. So I'm gonna set the YEAT and make it like something like a orangey type of like a yellow. So something right there, maybe even, yeah, something right there maybe. And copy this color and paste it on this sheet, this right here. So I'm gonna paste it over here. Yeah, something right there. And now if I go into my main comp and add something like a deep glow in here, bring it up, lower down the amount, and then add like a drop shadow with a distance on it. You can see that looks super cool. So that's how you exactly make these type of lyrics. Like if you don't already know, it is like really simple, but it looks super cool. And now to combine with it, you can add something like a money overlay maybe. Yeah, maybe something like this with a lower in size. Nah, that doesn't look good. Let me find another one. I'm gonna drag in this like money for one and lower down the size. And yeah, that looks super hard. And you can even add like a tritone in here and select a color of the scene and make it tone it accordingly. So yeah, that looks dope. And as it goes, I like to add something like a object compensation in here. I guess that would look super hard. Yes sir, maybe a little lower. And something like a warp as well, because I'm going for like a warpy look in this edit. So with the warp in a freeze, so in warp and like something like fisheye. And yeah, that looks super hard. So before and after, you can see add a little bit of depth in there, which I like. And now going back right here, we have a base hit. So for that, we're gonna make another adjustment layer, and you can try some wiggles in there. So let me try something like a Essential FX V1 wiggle. That looks good, but we actually need something like a shake. So maybe for that, I guess I got the best one in the V2, which is called horizontal shake wiggle. So it is a wiggle but with a shake. Yeah, that's perfect, bro. And now if you play that through, you can see that already looks super crazy We also got another hit right here. So for that, we're gonna add this shake again. In this scene, he's flexing and saying like, I never wanted Rolly, the Rolly wanted me. So for that, I'll add a watch model in here, a 3D model of watch. So for that, let's just make a solid and add element 3D and go over to the scene setup. And I'm gonna import a model from here. I'll be using my 3D model pack, of course. And in there, I got something like, I guess, bust down watch. So let me find it. Bust down watch right here. OBJ, open this up. So in my 3D model pack, it comes with a lot of these like 3D models for y'all to use in like After Effects. This texture is really trash because like when importing into Element 3D, it like causes a lot of glitches. So I just recommend for you to like just like replace the texture with pro shaders or the normal shaders. So adding gold in all of these like versus orange because it is supposed to be something like a gold type of watch. But if you want to download this 3D model pack, it comes with 40 plus 3D models for your music videos, like all dedicated for music video, you know what I'm saying? So it is really dope. You can check it out. And if you want to get all of my pack into one great price, I have an all-in-one bundle which is 60% off, includes all the packs. So you can grab that if you are really serious into editing and wanna actually like level up your videos and save times. But yeah, I was looking super dope, so I'm gonna go back. Firstly, I'm gonna go into my Essential FX V1 and add a slow-mo 30% because I like something like a slow-mo where the actual 3D model comes in. Then I'm gonna just animate this real quick and see y'all. And now you can see I had added this like simple animation in here. So with that, I'll add like a blur in the background. For that, I like to use something like a BCC lens blur and blur it as it comes. So, and I also added a little glow onto the watch. Maybe I'm play with the lighting a little bit more. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna just animate the lighting so it looks super dope. So it like shines up right there. And now I'm gonna add a simple zoom in from my pack again. So just like put it right here so it like zooms into the watch. Maybe that's a little too hard of a zoom. Yeah, something right here. And zoom out at the end with the reflection, and we can just like make a graph like this in here so it just like zooms out. And yeah, that looks super dope. And at the start, I like to add something like a V2, the most useful one. It is just like a zoom, which looks super dope in any scene. And if you play that through, that looks super dope. And now if you play all together, you can see we got this added. And right here, I like to start it off with a zoom in because we zoomed out, so it would make sense if we like zoom in. In this scene, I don't see we doing too much VFX because it is like really fast and close to the face. So I'm gonna just leave it right there with a flicker. In the start though, you can add something like a horizontal shake, not the wiggle one from the V1. And if you get this like black bars error, just like child the edges. So just reset this and you can see we got this dope shake right there. And now next scene to transition, I'm gonna use something like a white solid right here. Just make it one frame so it like flashes. And right in this beat hit, I'm gonna create a cut, make it a pre-comp and something like a fast to slow pre-comp right here. So we have this crazy speed ramp effect right there. With it, I like to copy this shake right here in here. So, and as a transition, I'll create a freeze frame at the end. And right here, I'll just do a minimax transition. So if you don't know, I'll just add a opacity keyframe in here, something right there, and make a graph like this in the opacity. So it happens really fast. And at the top, you can add an adjustment layer and add something like maybe something like a minimax hit, I mean. So right here, yep, yes sir, that looks super hard. And again in this scene, I don't see much to do with it. I'll just add a zoom from the in v2 and just like disable the flickers and shit, and that looks super dope. And in here we can just copy this wiggle right here. Now I think I'm gonna pre-comp this one as well and add lyrics in here. So as it says newbie every day, so for that I'll just track the camera firstly and let it do its thing, and that track is perfect. So I'm gonna just lower down this and this right here, and as it goes I'm gonna just write down the lyrics in here white, and you know, let me just write the lyrics because it is just like too close to the camera. It doesn't matter because we're just adding the lyrics right here. It goes out as it goes, so it really doesn't matter, but I'm gonna just put it right here. And right where it hands comes in, I'm gonna just like lower down the opacity to 0 because it is not tracked at all. And then you can pre-comp all of these with the camera again. Add a deep glow, lower down the amount with the drop shadow, and that's perfect right there. It doesn't look that great, but who cares, bro? We're just making a fan edit. But anyways, make it something like green. And also what you can do to make it smoother is add motion blur. And as the text come in, I'm just gonna add a seek in here. So right here I'm gonna add a seek. We're definitely using the horizontal seek right here. And for the tile glitch, just like center this up. Maybe horizontal seek, nah, that doesn't look good. Maybe something like a iconic seek. So, and as it goes out, I like to add one more right here. And now if you play that through, that looks something like that. Yeah, something right there. And here we're gonna add a vertical wheel, trim it up, and yeah, that looks super impactful. And in this scene we ain't gonna do much. I'm just gonna pre-comp this and just like roto out all this jewelry and just add a glow in there. So I'll just trim it from here and just like start rotoing. After you roto it, just make sure to freeze it to lock it in, you know what I'm saying? Then now going back, we're gonna add an optic glow in this, bring up the size, bring up the highlights only, and set to alpha mode so it is like glowing. Then you can add an outer tint and make it something like yellowish in the inner tint, also make it like yellowish. So yeah, something like this. Maybe, you know, maybe a curves as well with it, and just animate the opacity as it goes in, so 0 to 100 right here. In top I'll add a flicker, and yeah, that looks super dope. And lastly in here we can just end it off with the flash, and in this last scene we ain't got like anything to do. And with that I guess we're done. And if you play that through, you can see our edit looks something like this, and this list within like 30 minutes, so it looks super dope. You know what I'm saying, like essential effect is a clutch when it comes to like these type of edits. So yeah, if you want to check out all the packs that I used today on this edit, I'll link it in the description. Essentially FX is a go-to, bro. Just like download it, you'll never regret it. And if you want to get everything that I ever made, like every pack that I ever made, I'll link the all-in-one down below. It is in a great offer, 60% off, so you can grab that. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. If you like this video, please consider the like button, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.